Hi guys, it's me, HD, and welcome today to the 2018 Italian Grand Prix race Watchalong. How are we all doing, and are we excited for today's Italian Grand Prix? I am, I think. Today's race really should be better than the previous race, of course, in the calendar Spa. That race was not really that good, but this one, you know, with the very powerful DRS at the moment and the straights we have at this track, of course, I think we should get a lot more overtaking and jostling for position. Of course, we have Daniel Ricciardo coming through the field. That'll be exciting. But yeah, how are we all doing? Are we excited for today's race? Again, I am. Let me just look at the chat to see all of you. Efron just joining now, giving their predictions already. You guys look like you're already pumped up for today's race. And of course, today's race takes place here at Monza. What an historic racetrack. This racetrack has been on the calendar since the F1 calendar since 1950. It is one of the best tracks in the world. I don't think it is the best. I still think tracks like Spa, Silverstone, Suzuka, I think those tracks are better, but this no doubt is in the top 5 or 6. It is such a great track, and I do think, I know I said last week with Spa we're going to get a good race, and we did not. But I think we will get at least a good one today. I really do think we will. So hopefully that is the case. But guys, if you did miss what happened yesterday in qualifying, let me update you as to what actually went down. Kimi Raikkonen took pole position from Sebastian Vettel in second. It's a Ferrari front row at Monza. What a story that is. Hamilton is third. Bottas is fourth. Verstappen 5th, Grosjean 6th, Carlos Sainz is in P7, Esteban Ocon is P8, Pierre Gasly is 9th, and Lance Stroll, very surprisingly, in P10. That's an interesting top 10. There's a few cars, I think, out of position, like Sainz and Stroll, that might get passed at the start or in the opening laps, so that could cause some interesting action. So, yeah, I think that's where most of the action on the early laps will come from, is Carlos Sainz and Lance Stroll probably getting overtaken, because I don't think they'll be able to maintain those qualifying positions. And then the bottom 10 is Magnussen, Sirotkin, Alonso, Hulkenberg, Ricciardo, Perez, Charles Leclerc, Brendan Hartley, Marcus Ericsson and Stoffel Van Dorn. Nico Hulkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo, though, will be starting at the back of the grid. So Van Dorn will be 18th, Ericsson will be 17th, Hartley will be 16th, Leclerc 15th and Perez 14th. And then the top 13 is how it is supposed to be. Again, an interesting grid. There's a lot of cars like Magnussen there and Perez out of position, Charles Leclerc, Marcus Ericsson, not in positions that coming into this race you would actually expect them to be in. So, yeah, I think because of that, that is going to present as a good race. And of course, Hulkenberg and Ricciardo being at the back and out of position is going to present us, hopefully, some opportunities to see some great overtakes in today's race. By the way, just before I move on, if it does sound like I have a sore throat, it's because I do. By this time of the weekend, I always get a sore throat because I'm just commentating so much. So if I do have to, cough or clear my throat, then sorry about that. But sometimes I have to. But we'll move on now to the teams and kind of give a mini preview as to what they're going to do in today's race. First off, Mercedes. I think Mercedes, if they're going to win today's race, it is all down to the start. If they do not, with Hamilton or even Bottas, get ahead of at least one of the Ferraris, I don't see how Hamilton is going to win, because whoever's first is going to be not necessarily protected by the second Ferrari, but that second Ferrari is going to kind of push along the first Ferrari, and then the Mercedes of Hamilton or Bottas, whoever's third, is probably going to be Hamilton, won't really be able to get close enough to go for the race win, and will have too many cars to pass in the pit stops or on track to get that race win. So if Hamilton and Mercedes want to win today's race, it is all down to the start. I think if Hamilton can, say, be second at the end of the first lap ahead of Vettel or Raikkonen, then I think Hamilton does have a chance of winning today's race. But again, if it's a Ferrari 1-2 at the end of the first lap, I don't see how realistically Hamilton or Mercedes will win the Italian Grand Prix. And talking of Ferrari, let's move on to them. And pretty much, as I just said, if it's a 1-2 at the end of the first lap, I don't see how a Ferrari won't win. I still think there is a possibility that Hamilton could split the Ferraris, so it's not going to be an easy 1-2, but in theory, with the pace they have, they should get a 1-2 because the pace of the car is good enough to do so, and if they get a good start like they normally do, then in theory, they should finish 1 and 2 in the race. Who is going to win the race for Ferrari? Who knows? Again, it's down to the start and where Sebastian Vettel ends up. If he has a problem, then Kimi Raikkonen is probably going to be the person to win the race. But if it's not Kimi Raikkonen, if Sebastian Vettel doesn't have an issue, then I don't think it's going to be Kimi Raikkonen. I think it will be Vettel via team orders. That's what I think is going to happen there at Ferrari. And then for Red Bull, there's nothing really Red Bull can do. Now, you've got Verstappen up in 5th, but he's so far off the pace of the Ferraris and the Mercedes, there's nothing he can really do. If he holds off Grosjean and Ocon and Sainz at the start, he's basically going to be cruising around on his own in 5th place for the entire race. Daniel Ricciardo, though, is starting at the back. We're going to see some great overtakes from him in this race. Can he get close enough to his teammate Verstappen? We'll see. I think he'll need a bit of luck and very, very good pace to do that in today's race. But yeah, there's nothing really for Red Bull, seriously to achieve in this race. If there's problems ahead for a Ferrari and a Mercedes, then of course Verstappen will get a podium, but they're going to be in no man's land for a large part of today's race. But guys, in the chat, what do you think about those top 3 teams? Do you think Mercedes and Hamilton can win today's race? And if they can, how do you think it will happen? Do you think it's Ferrari's Grand Prix to lose? Do you think they will get a 1-2 finish? Do you think Vettel will be allowed through by Kimi Raikkonen to take the victory, of course, in this massive fight for the World Drivers' Championship? And for Red Bull, basically, where do you think they're going to end up? Do you think it'll be 5th and 6th? Do you think there'll be 2 or 3 retirements for the top 4 cars on the grid, meaning that Verstappen could get onto the podium? What do you guys think about those top 3 teams? Let me look at the chat now, see what some of you guys are saying. Caleb, Kimi 1st, Vettel 2nd, and Hamilton 3rd. Interesting. Stella, I think Ferrari will not make Kimi let Vettel through, praying right now. I hope that they don't, but I would completely understand it because Vettel is in a title battle and Kimi isn't. It's as simple as that. Will F1, do you think Ferrari simply have the faster car now this season? Yes, I do. They should, for the rest of 2018, have the fastest car. They don't have, the fastest car by miles. It's not like the Red Bull days or, the Ferrari back in the early 2000s. It's nothing like that, but they do have the best car. They do have the best car. There is no doubt about that. JB, Austria, they didn't make Kimi let Vettel through. I still disagree with that. I think they should have let Vettel through because those 3 points, might be very important at the end of 2018. Maybe they might use the same reasoning today. I don't know, but I don't see how they won't force Kimi to let Sebastian through if Vettel is right behind Kimi like he was at Hockenheim. If he's a second behind, I don't see why Ferrari would allow Kimi to win the race ahead of Sebastian. I don't see it. Ferrari best at every track. That's from Caleb. Yep, I think they will. I think there will be tracks Mercedes will be good. For example, Suzuka, Kota, Brazil, tracks like that. But Ferrari, I think, should have a slight edge on Mercedes at those tracks. JB, where will Ricciardo and Hülkenberg finish? Ricciardo, I think it'll be 5th or 6th. It depends on retirements from the top 2 teams, really. I think as to where he finishes. And Hülkenberg, I don't think he'll score points. I think he'll finish in 12th or 13th, something like that, in today's race. Aaron Chin, what if Kimi takes out Hamilton? Well, let's see what he does at the start first, because if he gets a bad start and Hamilton does go through, then we'll see what happens. Eric, Kimi for the win. I'm thinking it will be his last, hopefully not. Vettel would not be so upset after quali if he would think team orders would let him win. I do hope that... I really do hope he wins, because this could be his last year. We don't know what Ferrari are going to do in terms of choosing Vettel's teammate. I think they're going to keep with Kimi Raikkonen for 2019, but we don't know. We really do not know. It could be Charles Leclerc taking that seat. Kimi today could win the race and then do what Michael Schumacher did in 2006 and announce his retirement in the press conference. He could do that. We don't know. So we'll see what happens for Kimi today. But we'll move on from those top teams and move on to the midfield teams and give a preview to what they're going to do. McLaren, I don't think McLaren will score points, even though Fernando Alonso is in a decent position in P13. He shouldn't be in that position because, you know, what he did to Kevin Magnussen was so poor. I still don't get what he was trying to do, but anyway, we'll move on from that. McLaren, they just don't have the pace to score points. They don't. They just do not have the pace to score points. I think the best they can hope for is a massive turn 1 crash or, you know, loads of surprising reliability issues for cars in the top 10. That's the only thing they can hope for. They're not going to score points with genuine out-and-out pace. There's no way they're going to. The best they can hope for with their, you know, genuine pace is 14th, 15th, something like that. I don't see them getting into the points. I just do not see it. So it's going to be a poor race, I think, for McLaren. Renault, very good qualifying for Carlos Sainz in P7, but I don't think he's going to hold on to that. I think he does have a very good chance of getting points, but I don't see him holding on to P7 because you've got Esteban Ocon behind who, you know, he's driving a car which is way quicker in a straight line. You've got Kevin Magnussen back in P11. You've got Lance Stroll. Even though Lance Stroll's car is way worse than the Renault, if the Williams can get into the slipstream somehow, the Williams will go past because it is so fast in a straight line compared to the Renault. You've got Perez who's going to come through the field. It's going to be difficult for Sainz to score points, but I think he does have a good chance of doing so. It's going to kind of be between him and Pierre Gasly, I think, for who's going to finish in 10th. I think Gasly also might struggle a bit with certain cars around him, but yeah, as long as Renault scored points today, I think it's an achievement because, yes, Haas might go and outscore them massively and end up taking 4th off of them, but Renault were not expected and are not expected to score points this weekend. This is not a track where Renault are supposed to be good. The next race we're going to, Singapore, is what Renault are looking forward to because they know at that track they should be at least level with Haas and Force India. They really should. So if they can nick a point or two from this race and then at Singapore do really well, then they'll be back on track. So it's all about scoring points today for the Renault Works team and for Force India. Not the greatest qualifying. I actually think they were quite disappointing. Ocon, only 8th. I know that's a decent position to be starting in. But, you know, considering that the Renault is ahead, which is not used to, or not used to, but not suited to this track, it really shouldn't be ahead of Ocon. So, That's quite disappointing for me, but I think in the race he can beat Carlos Sainz over the 53 laps. And when it comes to Sergio Perez, P16, now I know that sounds, it's going to be a hard task from there to score points, but if you guys remember, I can't remember the exact position, but it was very close to that position. I think it was P14 or P15 on the grid. He started in for the 2012 Italian Grand Prix, and he ended up finishing in P2. So, I'm not saying he's going to finish second again, but he could get, P7 or P8 if he really manages the race well, gets past people quick enough like he did back in 2012. He can still score a good haul of points. So don't be surprised if Sergio Perez was to go on and get an 8th or a 9th. I wouldn't be surprised if Perez went on to do that, because his race pace, as we know, is very, very good. But guys, what do you think is going to happen with McLaren? Do you think they can score points by some miracle? I don't think they can. Do you think Renault with Carlos Sainz can finish in the points? And if so, where do you think in the points they will finish? And for Force India, where do you think both cars will finish? I think with Ocon and Perez, I'm going to go, say, 8th and 10th or 8th and 9th, something like that. I honestly think Perez will come through the field very strong and get into the points, because normally in the races here, he is very, very quick. But let's see what some of you guys think about those three teams. Is it going to rain today? That's from Stella. I just saw a radar on my TV screen of the weather, and put it this way, there is rain around. I don't know if it's going to rain, but there is rain around the area. So we could get some rain. That'd be very, very exciting, and bad news for Ferrari. So yeah, we'll see if it does rain. Did Alonso get a penalty for the stuff with K-Mag? That's from JB. I don't think he did. I haven't checked, but I haven't seen anything to suggest that he has. So that's wrong for me. I think Fernando, yes, K-Mag might have overtook him into the Parabolica like Niblo just saying there, but you can't do what he did, overtaking around the outside and then pushing Magnussen wide. It was almost like he was deliberately trying to do it, like he was deliberately trying to piss him off. You're not supposed to do that. This is qualifying. If you did that in the race, that's absolutely fine. If you did that in the race, then what an overtake it would be, because I don't think I've ever seen someone go around the outside at that chicane and actually make the move stick like Fernando did yesterday. But again, it's qualifying. It's not the race. You're not supposed to do that. So, yeah. If it rains, I think Hamilton will win. That's from Aaron Chin. Probably, yeah. Probably. I think Hamilton does have the edge, and the Mercedes car just seems to be better in wet conditions. Is there actually a 70% chance of rain? That's from Caleb. I haven't seen that, but I have seen the radar, and I wouldn't be surprised if that is the percentage of chance of rain, because it looked kind of the same. Just looking now at more comments, especially since Alonso had no chance of qualifying. That's from Tonka Toy Truck. When Magnussen, or if I haven't seen if Magnussen did pass him into Parabolica, I'm going to assume that he did. But if you get passed into Parabolica at the start of your qualifying lap, your lap is over. So, yeah, I don't understand again what Fernando was doing. It was almost like he was intentionally trying to ruin K-Mag's lap, which is that's not what you're supposed to do. Just looking at more comments in the chat. Thank you to the 64 people watching live. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream so far. Do you think Haas will be 4th at the end of the race, or the end of the season, I think you're saying? End of the race, you're saying. No, I don't think they'll be that high. I think they'll do well, but I don't think they'll be, massively high up in the order. I think they'll get a good finish, but nothing absolutely spectacular. The race should start soon. Yep, the race starts in 40 minutes. So 40 minutes away, guys, from the race starting. But I'll move on now to the rest of the midfield teams. Williams, very good qualifying, the best qualifying they've had so far in 2018. Can they score points? I don't think they can. I think they can finish in similar positions to where they finished at Spa, say 12th and 13th, but I don't see how they're going to score points because, you've got Magnussen, Ricciardo, Perez with way faster cars, faster drivers, let's be honest, and I think they will quite easily beat the two Williamses in today's qualifying. I just don't see the race. I just don't see how the Williamses can hold on to 10th and 12th. I don't see how they can, but they can still get a decent finish even if they don't score points. So yeah, we'll see what Williams can do in the Grand Prix. Maybe they can surprise us all once again. Toro Rosso, very good qualifying with Pierre Gasly up in P9. And, well, can he score points? I think he can. I don't think it'll be many. I think it'll be, at most, 2 points in 9th place, where he is starting. I think that's the most he can hope for. I don't think he'll be able to compete, seriously with Haas, the Force Injury of Ocon. I don't think he'll be able to, massively compete with those cars. So I think between him and, as I said earlier with Carlos Sainz, between him and Sainz is going to be, I think, a big fight for the last couple points. So watch out for that in today's Grand Prix. Brendan Hartley was quite poor, down in 18th, but he does start in 16th if there is retirements and reliability issues ahead, and he doesn't have reliability issues of his own, then maybe Brendan can get close to points or even points itself. We'll have to see. But Toro Rosso don't look that bad. They really don't look that bad coming into today's Grand Prix. And if you doubted Honda making progress, then I don't know what more evidence I have to show you. Honda are making clear progress right now in F1. Next up is Haas. Of course, Kevin Magnussen's qualifying was destroyed by Fernando Alonso, and that has affected, his race already, because if he had got through to Q3, I think he would have been up there in P6 or P7, because even though Romain Grosjean is very quick when it comes to qualifying, K-Mag also is very, very quick. So that's not great, but I still think he'll score points. I think he'll be up there in P7 or P8 by the end of the race, as long as he doesn't suffer any incidents at the first corner. Grosjean, P6. He could at the start actually seriously challenge the Red Bull of Max Verstappen. He really could, because we know the Red Bull in a straight line is so bad. So if Max Verstappen doesn't get a good start and Grosjean does, I don't see how Grosjean won't pass Verstappen down into turn 1. So Grosjean could be up in P5 at the end of the first lap, or P4 if one of the top guys gets a really bad start. So a good opportunity for Grosjean today. I think he can score a good amount of points. I think maybe 6 points, 8 points. Let's see what happens with retirements in today's race. But I think Haas will take 4th in the Constructors at the end of this race. I absolutely do believe that. And finally is Sauber. Now, Sauber in qualifying was so bad. In P17 and P19, that is nowhere near where we expected them to be. I thought at worst they'd be 12th and 13th, or 13th and 14th, like they were at Spa, but 17th and 19th. I don't know what was going on with them yesterday. But I think in today's race, with the great straight line speed they do have, of course, they should be up there with Williams and Haas and a Force India. It's going to be close between, Sauber, Force India. It's going to be a close race, but I'm not quite sure if Sauber can score points, because I don't think they have, from what I've seen, after qualifying. I'm not sure if they have enough pace after, what we've seen in qualifying again to get into those points-paying positions. But guys, do you think Williams can score points in today's race? Put in the chat whether you think they can. Do you think Pierre Gasly will get into the points with Toro Rosso? And what do you think about Honda's progress? With Haas, where do you think they'll end up? And do you think they will end up taking 4th in the Constructors by the end of today's 2018 Italian Grand Prix? And from, I think it's a P15 and P17 on the grid with Leclerc and Ericsson, where do you think they will end up in the race? Do you think Sauber can score points, or do you think it's impossible? Put in the chat right now and I will read it out. Just looking now, Marcus Ericsson qualifies P19, takes a grid penalty, starts P18. That's F1 for you. That is F1 for you. If you remember last year, it was ridiculous. You had cars taking penalties and starting 2 places higher. It was mind-boggling. I think it was Carlos Sainz. He took a penalty and started... I think he qualified 12th, took a penalty and then started 10th. It was so confusing. I still don't understand what happened at that weekend. Hopefully we don't ever get that again. It was so confusing and just rubbish. Absolute rubbish it was that day. JB, Leclerc could get points. Ericsson probably not. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I don't think Ericsson, after that accident, is keen to really score points. I think Leclerc does have it in him, but we're going to have to see a great performance, of course, from him. Will F1, what if Williams still finish at the back despite their grid positions? Then that just shows that... it actually shows something that's not really a surprise, and they did this when they were decent in 2014 and 2015. They'd always be good in qualifying, but when it came to the race, because they had poor aerodynamics, they would wear their tyres out massively and would drop back in the race. And that's not really... there's no real difference right now compared to 2014 and 2015 with the Williams car in terms of the aero is poor. That's just the way it is. So I wouldn't be surprised if Williams have really bad tyre wear and end up pitting early and end up finishing, near the back. Wouldn't be a massive surprise. Simon Cragland, Grosjean P8, Magnussen P9 today. Honda has really surprised me this year. Sauber need a bad start for the others and a little bit of mayhem. Yeah, they do. They do. We'll see if we do get that mayhem. I think the last time we had a proper big accident at Turn 1 was 2011 when Liuzzi's HRT got spun onto the grass and hit the side of Rosberg and Petrov and loads of cars. So if we get something like that again, then yeah, if one of the Saubers or both the Saubers can stay out of trouble, they could end up scoring points. JB, what has Claire Williams done to her father's team? She took it down, completely down. That team is, even though they've had a great qualifying, that team is still struggling massively. And there's no guarantee today they're going to score any points. Scott Young, it was Perez who qualified P11 yet started P10 despite taking a grid penalty. That was it. Ridiculous. So ridiculous. I still hope we don't get something like that. That would be so bad. Addiction, if it rain equals point, no rain equals no point. If you're talking about Sauber, then maybe. I don't really know. I think Sauber and the wet aren't really that great, but again, we'll have to see if it does rain in the first place. Simon Cragland, but Williams has clearly made progress lately. They have made progress. I won't deny that, but they're still nowhere near where they should be. Williams should be up there with Haas and Renault. There is no excuse for them not to be with Haas and Renault. And I know, I'm completely shooting up their expectations, but this is Williams. They should be up there with Haas and Renault because Haas are not as big of a team as Williams, and Haas are about to beat Renault for 4th. So I don't get why Williams is still so bad. They should be right up there getting 4th in the Constructors. Last year, Sainz qualified P15, yet he had a grid penalty and started P15. Yeah, so ridiculous. But we'll move on from all of that and go on, guys, to my driver to watch in today's race. And it is the same as my driver to watch for qualifying. Pierre Gasly, qualifying in P9. I was very, very correct with someone who is right now in the chat about Pierre Gasly and Toro Rosso basically being the ones to watch. Very good in qualifying. P9, again, Honda and Toro Rosso showing great progress. not miles off, Grosjean and Ocon and Sainz, but I don't think realistically with Ocon and Grosjean he'll be able to, really compete for a 6th or a 7th. It would be great if he did. It would be great if he did, but I don't think realistically that is possible. But watch out for him, because if we do get some retirements and he gets a great start or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up having a great race. I would not be surprised. I think he will get into the points today. I think he is that quick in that car. I think the Toro Rosso car this weekend has been very, very quick. But guys, what do you think about Pierre Gasly? Do you think he can score points? Do you think Toro Rosso have a quick enough car to do so? What do you think about Toro Rosso and Pierre Gasly for today's race? Let me see what some of you guys are saying in the chat. Tonka Toy Truck, good call on Gasly, but he is going to have trouble keeping his position. He will. He definitely will, but even if, the Haas or the Force India of Magnussen and Perez respectively passes him, he's not going to be miles off those two cars in terms of pace. So it's not like they're going to fly by and then fly off into the distance. I think Toro Rosso with Gasly will be able to keep pace with Magnussen and Perez. So I wouldn't be surprised if Gasly is fighting with those types of cars in today's race. I wouldn't be surprised at all. JB Gasly will score points, probably P10. Yeah, I think I said, didn't I? I think him and Sainz will be in that position, competing for those types of positions. P9, P10, something like that. Simon Cragland, Gasly's been better than Leclerc this year. I disagree quite a lot on that, but of course that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I understand why you would say that, because Gasly has had results which have been very, very good. P4 in Bahrain, that's still amazing. You have P6 in Hungary, I think. P7 in Monaco. Very good performances, but he hasn't done it on a consistent basis like Leclerc has. For example, Leclerc finished in the points at some races in a row where the Sauber should not have been in the points, like the Spanish Grand Prix should not have been in the points at that Grand Prix. The car was not good enough to be in the points, but he dragged it into that position. You have France, where he qualified in 8th and finished in 10th. What a performance that was. And yeah, I think Leclerc has been better this season, for sure. Will F1, after Hamilton and Vettel, how would you say are the best drivers this season? I would say Ricciardo, Bottas. This is not an order, this is just me listing 5 drivers. Ricciardo, Bottas, I'd say Alonso, Charles Leclerc, and Kevin Magnussen. Actually, no, replace Magnussen with Nico Hülkenberg. I think those 5 drivers have been very, very good this season. I think Magnussen, though, even though I haven't mentioned him in that 5, deserves a shout-out. What a season he has had for the Haas team. I think George Russell will join Toro Rosso or Williams in the next season. I don't think he'll go to Toro Rosso. I think Lando Norris is a lot more likely to go there than him, but I think he will go to Williams. Driver of the day, definitely Ricciardo. It will be, because he'll complete loads of overtakes, and then because he's completed loads of overtakes and he's come from the back of the field, then that'll be deemed to be a driver of the day worthy race. But we'll move on from Pierre Gasly and the ones to watch in today's race and go on to the tyre situation for today's race. Now, I will scroll down to the other people, don't you worry about that, but these are the sets of tyres they have for the Grand Prix. Everyone, by the way, does have a new set of softs, and mostly, except for Verstappen, a new set of mediums, but we don't think mediums will be used today. You can see there, Daniel Ricciardo has 2 new sets of the super softs. Perez has 4 new sets, but of course, because he qualified in P16, that is the only reason he has that. He would have probably had no new sets left for the race had he got through. You also have, so I scroll down, Sergei Sorokin, Nico Hulkenberg has a couple sets, Gasly doesn't have any, Brendan Hartley has 3, Magnussen has a couple that you can use in today's Grand Prix. That might be a sign he might start on the softs. We'll have to see on that. He does have a fresh set of softs and enough super softs for today's Grand Prix. Both McLarens have enough super softs, and Ericsson and Leclerc both have 3 sets of super softs. So I think with the top 10, I think they're all starting on super softs. I don't think there was anyone who went through on softs. I think everyone, bar a couple from 10th down to 20th, will be starting on the soft tyres and then moving to the super softs midway through the race, and that's where we will get some interesting action. But what do you guys think is going to happen on strategy in today's race? It's going to be a one-stop race. If you start on the super soft, you're easily going to go to the soft tyre, and vice versa. If you start on the soft tyre, you're going to go to the super soft. But what do you guys think of the strategy today? Do you think anything interesting is going to happen? Do you think any certain team needs to do something amazing on strategy like Hamilton and Mercedes? Do you think they need to undercut early on the 2 Ferraris if the 2 Ferraris are ahead? What do you guys, quickly, before I move on, think about the strategy? Ultraman Nexus 2 stops. I don't think we're going to get 2 stops. I think the tyre wear was worse than expected in the F2 race, but that's F2. In F1, they should be able to make the tyres go, long enough to do a one-stop strategy. And if they're concerned about the tyres, they'll just put the mediums on and go to the end of the race anyway. Niblo, thoughts on news which broke today about Leclerc and Ferrari? I haven't actually seen the full news story, so if you can put in the chat what has actually happened with that, then that'd be much appreciated, Nib. Watching this whilst watching the grid walk, I'm exactly the same. That's from Scuderia MCL. Tyres in general are still too hard. That's from Tonka Toy Truck. I agree. I think the Hyper Soft should be at this race with the Ultra Soft and Super Soft. And if we had that, then we probably would get a 2-stop, because Italy is quite hot in terms of temperature, even though right now on the grid it doesn't look very hot, but it is, the air is quite hot and the track is still very, very warm. So, if we had the Hypersoft, we probably would get a 2-stop, but, Pirelli that's the decision they've made. Oh yeah, I did see that. That's from Niblo. Rumours that Marchioni signed Leclerc to Ferrari before he sadly died. I did see that. I'm not surprised by that. I think if Marchioni was still alive, then right now we would be talking about Charles Leclerc at Ferrari, no doubt. I think he was very keen to get Kimi out of the team. But with the new CEO of Ferrari, I think Kimi is going to stay. I think he will stay. So, yeah, that is the way it's going to be. Gina, how will Ferrari bottle it today? Either on strategy or the start. That's the only way I see them bottling the race today. But we'll move on from the tyre strategy and go on now, guys, to the best places on the track to overtake. Now, first off, of course, you have the pit straight after the start going down to turn 1. It can get very hairy going into turn 1. Do expect cars to go down the escape road or over the chicane, because it's such a tight chicane. It's very hard for that many cars to fit, through that part of the track. So there's going to be a lot of cars, I think, going over the chicane. Might be a big accident. We don't know. Hopefully not, because I don't want the race ruined by that. I think that's what contributed to the race being not so great at Spa, because we had that accident at turn 1. So hopefully there is no accident today. But the main overtaking place is the pit straight. The DRS on that pit straight is very, very powerful. And for, Daniel Ricciardo and Sergio Perez coming through the field and Nico Hulkenberg, this is where their overtakes are going to take place down into turn 1. And then the next one is the straight heading towards the second chicane. Now, it's a bit harder to overtake here. It is still very, very possible, as Daniel Ricciardo proved last year. it's very, very possible to pass here, but certainly a lot harder than passing on the pit straight going into the first chicane, because you've got so much straight line speed and momentum coming off the parabolica that you can quite easily get the move done. But going into this chicane, it's all about traction on the exit of the first one, running up all the way down here to the second one. So it's possible, but certainly a lot harder. Then, guys, you have to run down to the Ascari chicane. Now, this is probably the hardest overtaking zone. I would say this is another DRS straight. This is the hardest overtaking zone because it's a very tight straight and a very tight braking zone going into Ascari. It's not meant for overtaking, really. It's meant for, one car only through that part or those parts of the track. So if you do make an overtake or an overtaking attempt into this part of the track, you might end up taking your front wing off or your front wheel, because it is a very, very tricky corner to pass in. And if you do get an overtake done into here, then you have to be clearly ahead, because if you're not, then, yeah, you're going to have an accident into that corner. And then the final one is the straight on the exit of Ascari and onto the entry of Parabolica. This straight, it's good to get a slipstream, but it is very hard also to get down the inside or around the outside out the Parabolica, because it's such a fast corner. It's not a slow enough braking zone or lift-off zone to get past another car, and you do have to be way faster coming off Ascari to get a move done into Parabolica. So if you do get one done into Parabolica, then bravo, you've got a very good run off Ascari and deservedly got through. But guys, where do you think the overtakes are going to happen today? What parts of the track do you think we need to look out for? Do you think the start is going to be very important? And guys, when it comes to the start, what are your, biggest prediction? Do you think there'll be a crash? Do you think Hamilton will jump both Ferraris? Do you think both Ferraris will fly off into the distance? What do you think is going to happen at the start? Don't know where overtakes will happen. As I said, it's most likely going to be the pit straight, because the pit straight, again, you get such a momentum off of Parabolica, and with the DRS, it's most of the time a very easy overtake. If you're not in a Mercedes or Ferrari, it's going to be a bit harder to overtake, but it's very, very easy if you're in a Mercedes or Ferrari powered car. Scuderia MCL, I think Hamilton may overtake the Ferraris. If he gets a great start, then yeah, he could actually perform that, and wow, that would be a story going off of the start line. First lap carnage, that's from Ultraman Nexus. Caleb crash, Kimi will keep the lead, Hamilton second. Okay, it will be Singapore 2017 Ferrari crash. That would be a monumental disaster if that was to happen. Tonka Toy Truck, it is hard to predict with these faster, wider cars. We have been surprised more than once on how the cars react to the tracks. That's the thing with Turn 1, because the cars are a lot wider than they used to be, in the past, it can get even more hairy into the first chicane, because of course cars are getting pushed sometimes wide onto the grass. Yep, I just saw that. Hamilton on scooter in the pit lane. He's been using that a lot this weekend, and obviously is very defensive over it, but who cares? That's your game of Ben. But we'll move on from the best overtaking places, and before I believe we go on to the predictions, or my predictions for today's Italian Grand Prix, I just need to, pay tribute to Ronnie Peterson. Guys, 40 years ago at the same track at the 1978 Italian Grand Prix, just after Lotus with Mario Andretti, who was Peterson's teammate, won the title, there was a massive collision at the first, on the straight heading towards Turn 1, the old Turn 1 at Monza. And Ronnie Peterson, sadly, in the ablaze of what happened, would die from his injuries the day after. Now, I just want to pay tribute to him, because I don't think this guy gets talked about enough. He was such a quick driver in qualifying, lots of pole positions, definitely the best Swedish F1 driver by an absolute mile we've seen in the sport. if he had stayed in F1, I think he would have won a title. He was such a quick driver. He didn't have the best of luck with teammates. He had some very, very good teammates like Emerson Fittipaldi and Mario Andretti, but a lot of times he would beat those drivers in qualifying and also the race. He was such a good driver, and I just want to pay tribute because, yeah, he was a driver that went way too soon, way too soon, and would have won a title in my opinion. Kind of like Gilles Villeneuve, went way too soon and was, I think, very soon going to win an F1 title. So, yeah, very, very sad there. But of course, we will now move on, guys, to my predictions for the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. I'm going Sebastian Vettel to win today's race. I think that both Ferraris will get off the line very well in 1 and 2. I think Kimi will be leading the race, but Vettel will be second, and Vettel eventually will be allowed through by Kimi Raikkonen. Ferrari will order that to happen. And yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. I don't think Vettel necessarily is going to be miles faster than Kimi. It's just going to be a case of, you know, the title battle is going to, you know, what's going on in the title battle is going to force Ferrari to force Vettel to get past Raikkonen. So I don't see, if Vettel is behind Kimi, I don't see how Sebastian won't win the race. I don't see it. In P2, guys, I'm going Kimi Raikkonen. I think he will lead away at the start, but then about halfway through the race, if Ferrari still have a 1-2, I think he'll be told to move over and consolidate a Ferrari 1-2 at their home race. If Kimi wants to win today, he has to get away from the line well and hope that his teammate has a bad race, a bad start, maybe a crash at the start. If that happens, then I think Kimi Raikkonen will go on to win the race. But if that doesn't happen and Vettel does get a good start like I think he will, Kimi Raikkonen will be told to move over and finish in P2. And I have no problem with him being told to move over because, look, Kimi is not in the title battle. If he was closer in the title battle, then maybe, you know, you could let the Ferraris race like they used to with Massa and Raikkonen in 2007, 2008 time. But now, with Kimi nowhere near, you know, Hamilton and Vettel, you just cannot deny Sebastian the points that he needs to get to win the title for Ferrari. And in P3, I'm going with Lewis Hamilton. I think Hamilton will be very similar to Spa, close enough at the start of the race. But then after the first and only pit stop, when Hamilton inevitably, in my opinion, does not get past any of the Ferraris in the pit stop, I think Hamilton will just save his engine and sit back in third. Bottas will probably be in fourth, kind of keeping him secure so, you know, a Red Bull doesn't come charging up behind. But yeah, Hamilton, I think, will definitely finish in P3. But guys, what is your predictions for today's Italian Grand Prix? Who do you think is going to win the race? Who do you think will finish in second? And who do you think will finish in third? And also give me your top 10, if you can, for the Italian Grand Prix of 2018. Caleb, Kimi will win. Okay, Lewis on scooter, lol. Wishing Kimi pushed the photographer. That's from Ultraman Nexus. Scuderia MCL, Vettel first, Hamilton second, and Kimi third. Interesting. I think Hamilton can definitely finish second, but I feel as though, again, it's all down to the start. It is all down to the start. Hamilton first, Kimi second, and Max third. That's from Gina. Interesting. Gamer Ben, Grosjean, Hamilton, Vettel, Kimi retire. Live race here. That's from Yanush. I'm not going to be showing the race live because, well, my channel will get took down in about 10 seconds, so I'm not going to do that. I will be showing, though, images from the race, like pictures and so on and so forth, to keep you guys up to date visually as to what is going on the track. But I will, during the race, be describing what is going on so you guys know what is going on at the Italian Grand Prix. We're 10 minutes, by the way, away from the race starting. FOM intensified. Yep, indeed. I am not going anywhere near them ever again. Legendary snipers. If Bottas wins, I won't be surprised. I would. Bottas is way off the pace. He's about half a second a lap off of the Ferraris and his teammates. So I don't see how Bottas today can win today's race. But for the 194 people watching live, thank you very much for watching live. Again, don't forget to subscribe either on the bottom right of the screen, channel name, you can click that, or you can go into the description and click a link to my channel page and subscribe there. For you guys, who do you think is going to win the race today? Do you think it will be a Ferrari? Do you think it'll be a Mercedes? If it's a Ferrari, which Ferrari? Who are you going with for victory and the podium for the 2018 Italian Grand Prix? Ultraman Nexus, yep, Ferrari gonna screw strategy up once again if there's rain. When it rains during the middle of the race, the best thing and the only thing you cannot do when it rains is do not panic. Do not panic. If you panic when it starts to rain, then you're not going to get the decision right. So hopefully if it does rain, Ferrari don't panic because then they'll put the wrong tyres on or they'll stay out on track at the wrong time. Vettel will panic and do something stupid, believe me. That's from Gina. I'll remember that for the start of the race because I think that's the only area where he might do something stupid. Niblo says Vettel, Kimi and Hamilton for today's race. Yep, that's what I'm going for. That's what I'm going for. I don't see it being any different. I think the start is very important. If Hamilton was to get ahead of both Raikkonen and Vettel at the start, then I think Hamilton has a very good chance of victory. I still don't think he'll win the race, but he's got a great chance of victory. I'll just put these pictures on the screen for you guys to keep you guys entertained. Legendary snipers. Vettel first, Hamilton second, Bottas third. With how unlucky Kimi has been in 2018 and, well, has been forever, let's be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Kimi had, I don't know, a really bad start because of a clutch problem. It's just the way things happen for Kimi sometimes. DJ Forge, are you streaming the race? Again, nope, I'm not, because my channel will get shut down in about 10 seconds. So I will be showing pictures from the race that I will find on Twitter to show you guys, visual pictures of what is going on. But I will not be streaming the race for, well, obvious reasons. Again, guys, keep putting your predictions in. We are 7 minutes away from the start of the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. Who are you going with for the race win? Are you going for Raikkonen? Are you going for Vettel? Or are you going for Hamilton? I don't think Bottas can seriously compete for the win. I think Bottas could get a podium if one of the top three has an issue. But, yeah. I don't see anyone different from those three if they all stay in the race, winning today's 2018 Italian Grand Prix. Vettel first, Hamilton. Vettel first, Kimi second, Bottas third. That's from DJ Forge. If Hamilton, well, the only way that would happen is if Hamilton has some kind of issue, I guess. Scuderia, MCL, Vettel because team orders. Right, I'll go onto Twitter now and try and get some images ready for you guys. Keep putting your predictions down below. Thank you again to over 200 people watching live. This is very, very, very good. So thank you again. And keep putting your predictions in, guys, before the race gets underway in 6 minutes. Keep putting your predictions in. Inaz Stroll, actually not that bad of a driver. It's just that the money doesn't give him reputation. I've never said he's a bad, or if I have, then I'm wrong, but he's not a bad racing driver. He's just not good enough, in my opinion, by F1 standards. That doesn't mean he's a bad racing driver. Like, I don't think Hartley is good enough by F1 standards, or Sirotkin, but I'm not saying they're bad racing drivers. If you get into F1, you are a very good racing driver at the very least, but by F1 standards, some drivers are not good enough. Stroll could get points if he is lucky. That's from Scuderia MCL. Hello to Brandon, who's just joined the chat. The F1 intro is now playing, so we're about 5 minutes away from the race starting. Gina, Haas on podium today. If we get some craziness, then maybe. I rank him a Maldonado that doesn't crash that much. That's from Scuderia MCL. He is very similar in the way he kind of frauds people into believing he's actually good. Because, you know, Maldonado would have some races in 2012, for example, where he would qualify very well, but then in the race go and blow it, or, you know, just wouldn't get the job done. And Stroll kind of has a similar thing where he'll have a couple races where he's really good and really quick and falsely, or gives you like a false sense of, you know, belief that he's good, and then most of the time he's not. Ocon podium, Gasly podium, some Caleb. Let me just cut to another picture. Here is the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Can he win today's race? Again, keep putting your predictions in, guys. Who do you think is going to win the 2018 Italian Grand Prix? Or crash into people on purpose. At least Stroll doesn't do that. Yep, it could be a lot worse. Keep putting your predictions in, guys. As well, before the race gets underway, let me just plug all my social media. Again, for the 215 people watching live right now, click to subscribe either on the bottom right of the screen, click on my channel name and go to my channel page and sub there. Or if you're in the description, click the link that goes to my channel page and you will go to my page again and you can subscribe there. Like this video, comment down below what you thought of this video, and comment down below what do you think, or what did you think of what happened in the Italian Grand Prix. Of course, none of us know yet, and I would love to be in your position knowing what has happened in this Italian Grand Prix as well. Don't forget to join our Discord server. A link to that is down below. We have 60 people in there right now in the Discord server. It's an ever-growing community, such a great community, interactive as well. So if you want to join, go down below and join that as well. Follow me on Twitter if you want to keep up to date with when I'm uploading, and if there are any issues as to when I'm not uploading or not uploading at a certain time, then follow me on Twitter so you can keep up to date with me on that. And as well, check out my website, chazerhd.com, another way of keeping up to date with the content on this channel. Keep putting in your predictions, guys. Keep putting it in, and I will read it out before the race gets going. On Sky, you can do a split screen with main program on one side and either Kimi, Seb, or Ham on board on the other. That's a very good thing that Sky does have, and that's one thing I do like they've brought to F1 coverage overall, as the cars are about to go on their formation lap. What's the chance of rain from Ben McCarthy? I heard it was 70%, but that may have dropped. I don't know. If anyone knows, put in the chat below and I will read it out. Again, keep putting your predictions in, guys. I'll cut to another picture. Here you go, a sparking Red Bull. What do you think is going to happen in today's race? I'm with Seb on the start. That's from James Evans. I wouldn't be surprised if Vettel got a good start from second. There's not necessarily a dirty side of the track, because normally on the pit straight, the cars drive down the middle of the straight. They don't stick to one side. So there's not necessarily a dirty side of the grid like you get at Suzuka or Spain, for example. So he could, as the cars are about to go on their formation lap. Keep putting in your predictions, guys, and I'll read it out before the race starts. So the top 10 guys are starting on super softs. Magnussen's on the softs. Then you have Sirotkin, Alonso, Perez on super softs. Leclerc is on softs. Hartley and Van Dorn super soft. And then you have Ericsson, Ricciardo on soft. And then Hulkenberg at the back on super softs. That is the tyres everyone is starting on. And the race and the formation lap is now underway. So we are about 2 minutes away, guys, from the start of the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. Put in the chat now, who do you think is going to come out on top I'm going Vettel for the win because of team orders. Are you guys going for the same or not? I'll try and post a picture of the grid. I'll try, guys, and post as many pictures as I can. I can't promise I'll post pictures, you know, tons of them, but I'll try and put as many on the screen as I can during the stream. They're now coming up to the second chicane on this formation lap. Who do you guys think is going to win? Keep putting it in the chat and I'll read it out before the race starts. But when the race starts, I'm sure you can understand that I won't have time to read out what's going to happen because it will be happening. There you go. That's the scene on the start of the grid just before the formation lap got underway. I will post a picture of the start very, very soon. There are spots of rain. Hamilton, that's from Gina, going with Hamilton. Red Bull wins from Ultraman Nexus. By the way, if my stream just cut off very quickly, sorry about that. There was just a slight internet issue I think I had. I'm not quite sure. On my screen it says stream resumed, almost as if it went off for some reason. So if it did, sorry about that, but we are back on. As the Ferraris are coming to the Parabolica now, the Ferrari fans are anticipating a victory. Can they get that victory? Can they go on and win the Italian Grand Prix? They haven't won here since 2010. That was the last time Ferrari won, of course, with Fernando Alonso winning from Jenson Button with Felipe Massa that day in P3. Can Ferrari do it today? They have to, especially with Vettel. Vettel has to win today. Cannot allow Hamilton to gain points on him. Here's another picture. This is the formation lap. Vettel crash incoming, believe me. Or crush, as some people are saying. But here we go, guys. The start. The Italian Grand Prix is moments away. The two Ferraris line up. Now the two Mercedes, the Red Bull Verstappen. The start, I would say, is going to happen in about 30 to 45 seconds. If you have a last second prediction, put it in the chat right now. Ben McCarthy, Vettel has been on the podium every time he's driven the Italian Grand Prix for Ferrari. That is true. Here we go then. The last couple cars will line up on the grid. Hulkenberg lines up now. And here we go. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights for the Italian Grand Prix. And lights out. And away we go. And Kimi Raikkonen cuts off Sebastian Vettel at the start. Sebastian Vettel gets a slipstream. And he's going to go round the outside. Massive accident at the back with a Toro Rosso. Massive lockup from Kimi Raikkonen. And Raikkonen maintains the lead, from Sebastian Vettel. Haas goes across the grass. Hamilton is third. Bottas, I think, is down to 5th. He is behind Max Verstappen. And there is Ocon trying to pass Carlos Sainz. And Hamilton trying to go round the outside of Sebastian Vettel. Is it Kimi Raikkonen? He's gone round the outside of the Ferrari. Massive accident. That's Sebastian Vettel has spun. Sebastian Vettel has spun at the start. He spun at the second chicane. Hamilton, I think, made contact, or Vettel made contact with the curb and went wide. So it's Raikkonen from Hamilton from Verstappen. So let's see what happened here. I don't think Hamilton's at fault there. I think Vettel basically got too hooked on the curb. Hamilton has every right to be going around the outside. I don't think. And there's damage to Vettel's car. And there's a safety car at Monza. What a start. So Hamilton and Vettel making contact at the second chicane. I'll have to see it again. But my first reaction, guys, is that Hamilton was not at fault. That's my first reaction. It looked as though to me that Hamilton went round the outside and Sebastian hit the side of Lewis, and then Vettel spun around because of it. And because Sebastian is on the inside of the corner, which is quite low grip where he was, he spun. Ben McCarthy, I think it's a racing incident. What do you guys think of that incident? Vettel has a broken front wing as well. What a disaster. This is exactly, by the way, what Kimi Raikkonen needs to win the Italian Grand Prix. It was a cracking move from Hamilton, very similar to Alonso on Webber in 2013. That's the last and think only time I've ever seen a car do that. I'll post another picture up for you guys. Vettel replaces his front wing. Daniel Ricciardo is in as well, and I think Hulkenberg. So do they have damage? I know there was a Toro Rosso at the start that had, it's Brendan Hartley. Hulkenberg and Ricciardo side by side coming out of the pit lane. Hulkenberg gets out ahead. I'll read out the order in just a moment. Let me just put a picture on the screen for you guys of what is going on. Madness at the start. Vettel and Hamilton collide, but Vettel now can catch the back of the pack. So Vettel is not out of this. He can still get a third or a fourth. But of course, that's not what he wanted. Championship is gone now. That's from Raghav Gupta. Don't say that yet because we don't know what's going to happen yet. Hamilton could yet retire and Vettel could finish, third. And Vettel could be closing in. So we don't know what is going to happen yet. But can Hamilton now go after Raikkonen? Vettel is... Right, so I'll read out the order now. So Kimi Raikkonen leads from Lewis Hamilton second. Max Verstappen is third. Bottas fourth. Grosjean fifth. Sainz is sixth. And then Ocon is seventh. Stroll is eighth. We're watching a replay of the start. I'll read out the rest in just a moment. Does Hamilton have damage? I don't think he does. Here's a replay of the start. So Vettel tried to go around the outside. Raikkonen locked up. Went a bit wide but held off Vettel at the start. And then Hamilton got a very good run off the second chicane. Like I said in the build-up, if you get a good run off the first chicane, it gives you a great chance going into the second one. Gets in the slipstream. Round the outside. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with what Hamilton did. Basically, Vettel, he got... how do I describe it? He got loose on the curb on the inside of the corner and hit the side of Hamilton. Hamilton didn't do anything wrong. Hamilton was ahead. There's nothing wrong with what Lewis did there. Let's see it on board from Sebastian. Sebastian just ran wide into the side of Lewis. There was nothing that Lewis did wrong. Nothing. Racing incident, by the way. There's no penalty that needs to be awarded. It is a racing incident. But it's Vettel running into the side of Hamilton. Not deliberately. He just didn't have any grip on the inside of the corner. And Hamilton had him around the outside. What do you guys think of that then? Vettel and Hamilton colliding. What did you think of that incident? If anything, Vettel went wide and Hamilton gave enough room. That's from Ben McCarthy. That's pretty much what happened. Hamilton went around the outside, gave him enough room, but Vettel just did not have grip at that point and went wide and hit the side of him. There was nothing that... This is what happened to Brendan Hartley. Collision. Oh, that was a big wheel failure. He hit the Sauber of Marcus Ericsson at the start and he's already out of the race. I feel so sorry for Brendan. Scuderia MCL, it's Vettel's fault. If you're going to point the finger at someone, I would point it at Sebastian, but I don't think you can say that a penalty needs to be awarded. But if someone is at fault, then it's got to be Vettel. Ruined Gollum Racing, there should be a penalty. I don't think there should. It was a racing incident, but as I've said, if you're going to blame someone, then you would blame Vettel. I'll post a picture now for you guys of what happened between Vettel and Hamilton. By the way, the safety car is about to come in. Kimi Raikkonen has already let go, going to the parabolic, and Hamilton's already getting a run, and now he's slowed back up again. So Kimi playing games with Lewis Hamilton here, and let's go. And Kimi Raikkonen will now lead them across the line for the, I don't know what lap it is yet. It is, I'll see in a moment. Lewis Hamilton getting a great run, by the way, on the pit straight. Hamilton in the slipstream, goes to the outside. Can Lewis Hamilton pass him? Yes, he does. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead of the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. Wow, I did not expect that to happen. Carlos Sainz goes off. And he'll have to give that back to Grosjean. But Hamilton leads from Raikkonen. But Raikkonen's getting a great run up the hill. Grosjean goes back past Sainz. Raikkonen Gets in the slipstream of Hamilton. Can he go back past? Round the outside. Great move by Kimi. He's back in the lead and Hamilton now gets in the slipstream. What a start. What a race we've had so far. If the next, we're lap 4 out of 53. If the next 49 are like this, then I cannot wait. Wow, what a start. Hamilton getting a great run on Raikkonen. Let me just post a picture now of the incident between Vettel and Hamilton. There you go. That's Vettel being spun around at the second chicane. There you go. But wow, what a race this is so far. What a race. Kimi can fight. Indeed he can. I'm very surprised Kimi was so aggressive in coming back. But Hamilton, by the way, is still very close. Only half a second behind. But can Kimi now pull the gap? He needs to, because if Hamilton stays close enough, then Hamilton can win this race. Oh my, yep, oh my. Hamilton closing again on Raikkonen. Hamilton has very good speed at the end of the straight. By the way, Verstappen is in third and holding off Bottas for the time being. Vettel is P17 and half a second behind Ricciardo, so he's not going to have the easiest time getting through the field. And now, so Hamilton is 7/10 of a second behind Raikkonen. Verstappen is about 2 seconds off the lead. Bottas is about a second behind Verstappen. As Ricciardo goes down the inside of Stoffel Van Dorn at the second chicane. Vettel is going to come through in a minute. Vettel, by the way, on softs. Vettel comes through. Vettel is on soft tyres. He's just passed Stoffel Van Dorn for 16th. So Sebastian Vettel up to 16th. Ricciardo will hold Vettel. I'm not sure he can though, because the straight line speed that Ferrari has, and I'm sure that Vettel is using all of his ERS right now. Not sure Ricciardo can hold him back. But Ricciardo is on the faster tyre, but still I don't think he can hold him back. By the way, Raikkonen 8/10 clear of Hamilton. No problem, Hamilton, keep attacking, bro. By Joe Garner. Kimi Raikkonen does another fastest lap, 1:24.871. Oh, that's very close. Is that Perez and Magnussen contact? That's a lot of contact. What the hell happened there? So Gasly and Magnussen went off. Perez tried to dive down the inside of Magnussen, and then they made I don't understand what happened. What was Gasly and Magnussen doing? They must have been behind Perez and then just massively overshot the chicane. And what's going on here? Ricciardo has passed Hülkenberg, but Hülkenberg's having a go back, but he cannot get past. Vettel now has to pass Nico Hülkenberg. Perez understeered. You're always going to at that corner. It's not a place for overtaking. That's why I did not include it in my places to overtake, because you're not supposed to pass into there. You're never really going to make it work. And if you do, then, you know, bravo. This race is going to be interesting. That's some legendary snipers. Hamilton is still within DRS, by the way, of Raikkonen, so it's not done out front. Verstappen, by the way, holding off Bottas for third. Where is Bottas' pace? Vettel is closing at the back of Hülkenberg. Hamilton, he has DRS on Kimi Raikkonen, has set the fastest lap of 1:24.827. Thank you, by the way, to the 452 people watching live. Again, subscribe if you have not. Bottom right of the screen as, hold on, Perez around the outside of Alonso. Alonso keeps his position for now. Or Alonso, I think, got past Perez. Great move there by Fernando. But again, subscribe on the bottom right of the screen. Click on my channel name or click on the link in the description that goes to my channel page. And subscribe to Chazza HD F1. Perez trying to get past Alonso. Alonso, though, holds him back. Moving around like crazy right now. As I said, there is going to be overtakes today, and there has been plenty so far. Alonso looks like he's pulling away from Perez. I think Perez has damage to his front wing. I think that's why Perez is now being passed by other cars. I think that's what's going going on. Hamilton 1 second behind Raikkonen. Verstappen about 2.6, 2.7 behind Hamilton. As Ricciardo runs a bit wide on the exit of Ascari, but is now in the slipstream of Leclerc. A massive traffic jam behind Fernando Alonso. You've got Alonso, Perez, Gasly, Leclerc, Ricciardo, Vettel. There's going to be a lot of overtaking now going down into turn 1. Leclerc passes Gasly. Ricciardo's going to get a run. This is going to be a triple overtake. Perez has passed Alonso. Ricciardo's not going to go down the inside there. He'll crash. Does Gasly go around the outside of Leclerc? Oh, that was so close. He definitely made contact. There's no doubt about it. What a race we've had. Now Ricciardo. Slipstream, and he'll go round the outside and make it the inside for the chicane. But Leclerc's blocking him. He can't do anything. Or does he? Oh, there was contact there. There was definitely contact there between Ricciardo and Gasly's rear tyre. I wonder if Gasly might have a puncture from that. But Vettel, in 15th, has now closed up to the back of Ricciardo. By the way, if you're just joining us, Vettel and Hamilton on the first lap collided at the second chicane. That's why Sebastian Vettel is in 15th and Lewis Hamilton is now second behind Kimi Raikkonen. Simon asks, what position is Alonso? Alonso's P11, but is dropping back quite a lot now. This is a replay of Ricciardo running wide at Ascari. Very lucky he didn't have a massive accident. It's a very fast part of the track. And Vettel going down the inside of Ricciardo. He can't make it work right now, but he's going to pass him. The Ferrari is way faster in a straight line. Here we go. And Vettel goes around the outside and passes Daniel Ricciardo. But Ricciardo is going to fight back. Oh, Ricciardo getting very close to the back of Vettel, but he's not going to fight for it because he knows that Vettel has the much faster car right now. But he might do it. He might go for an overtake up into the second chicane if he does get a run. Hamilton, by the way, back within DRS of Kimi Raikkonen. As Leclerc tries to pass Gasly but locks up quite a lot. And Vettel's going to pass Leclerc here going into Lesmo 1. He does. Leclerc basically let him through. By the way, Hamilton, half a second behind Raikkonen. Oh, no, it's gone up to 9/10. So Hamilton is getting close to the back of Kimi Raikkonen. And Ricciardo is now passing Leclerc. Is he? Yes, around the outside into Ascari. Surely not. Nope, he doesn't. It's impossible to go around the outside of that corner. If you do, then you're taking so many risks. You guys in the chat can see you're enjoying this race a lot. I am as well. Hamilton only half a second behind Raikkonen. 1:24.349 is the new fastest lap by Lewis Hamilton. Mercedes are very quick today. And if Hamilton can stay just in the DRS zones, he doesn't have to necessarily pass Raikkonen. If he stays in the DRS zones, then he can just, stay on the back of Raikkonen until the pit stops and then go and pass him. Now I'll show you guys a picture of when Kimi Raikkonen retook the lead of the race. Fernando Alonso is about to retire from the Italian Grand Prix, so McLaren's chance of points is over. So if you're a McLaren fan, look away now. Raikkonen leads by a second, by the way. Here it is. This is when Raikkonen went round the outside at the second chicane. Just like Hamilton's move, a great overtake. Great overtake. But it's not over yet, guys. It really is not over yet because Hamilton is just under a second, or just over a second, sorry, behind Raikkonen. Oh no, Alonso out. That's from Ultraman Nexus. Yep, it's a shame, but that's the way it is. Hamilton has DRS on Raikkonen. Closes up to the back. And what do we have here? Charles Leclerc holding off Nico Hülkenberg. By the way, Leclerc has a lot of brake dust coming out of his wheel there, so I think Leclerc is at risk of a failure soon. As Hulkenberg gets DRS on Leclerc, he's going to pass him down into turn 1, surely. Leclerc defends, but the Renault in a straight line flies past. And the Red Bull's Ricciardo, I swear, again made contact with Gasly. That's twice, I swear to God, twice he has made contact with Gasly. Of course, Gasly taking Ricciardo's seat for 2019 at Red Bull. Gasly is trying to fight as hard as possible. Is Ricciardo going down the inside? No, he's not. Gasly's blocking him off. Gasly is trying to show Red Bull, hey, I can definitely compete at the front. Oh my God, that was so close to a massive accident. He definitely made contact. Yep, it was left front and right rear of Pierre Gasly. Raikkonen a second ahead of Hamilton. Ricciardo still behind Gasly. Gasly is holding on very well. Vettel is P11, by the way, and is 4 seconds behind Sergio Perez. By the way, the two Williamses, I forgot to say this, the two Williamses are 8th and 9th. Stroll, though, is holding up his teammate and Perez. So we're going to get a bit of a traffic jam. Yep, we are getting one. Perez is trying to pass Sergei Sorokin down into turn 1. Run the outside. Oh, Sorokin squeezes to the outside. Perez is going to go to the outside. No contact, thank God. The racing so far, it's like they're all on a death wish. Hamilton now, is he within a second? No, he's just at a second behind Kimi Raikkonen. Lap 12 out of 53. The order right now, guys, is Kimi Raikkonen leads from Lewis Hamilton 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Bottas 4th, Grosjean 5th, Sainz is 6th, Ocon is 7th, Stroll is 8th, Sorokin 9th, Perez 10th, Vettel is 11th after the contact with Lewis Hamilton. We cut away again to watch a replay of Ricciardo now passing Gasly, surely. Yep, he does. Goes down the inside. Gasly does not fight it this time. He's probably been told to move out of the way. So Ricciardo's now P12. Gasly is 13th. Hulkenberg 14th. Leclerc 15th. Van Dorn 16th. Ericsson 17th. Magnussen is 18th. What an awful weekend he has had. And Alonso and Hartley are your retirements. Lewis Hamilton has DRS still on Kimi Raikkonen, but is not close enough to go for the move. Ultraman Nexus, will Kimi win? It's difficult to say. I think he will, but Hamilton looks very, very quick. Can we see the race? That's from Jake Dobson. I can't show the race because of FOM, of course, and my channel would be took down very, very quickly. So, yep, I can't do that. Simon, what's the fastest lap time? It's a 1:24.3, I think, from Lewis Hamilton. Daniel Ricciardo, don't hit Gasly, I guess you're trying to say. That's from Zakai Gaming at 1126. But now, at the moment, it has settled down. By the way, Perez has passed Sorokin, but Sorokin is half a second behind Perez, so that battle is not over. And Ocon is closing up to Sainz. We're going to get a move here. Ocon on Carlos Sainz. Beverly too aggressive by Vettel. I think he was basically just trying anything to hold back Hamilton. I'm not saying he was trying to crash him out, but he was trying to hold back Hamilton and he hit the side of him. I don't think Vettel should get a penalty, but yeah, that was the incident. Ocon is now surely in a good enough position to pass Carlos Sainz down the pit straight. Yes, he is. Pit straight. DRS open for Esteban Ocon. He's going to pass Sainz here. Carlos Sainz defends to the inside and Ocon flies around the outside and Ocon is up to P6. Everton, show the race please. No, I'm not doing that because again the channel will get shut down immediately. Simon, why is Alonso out? I don't know why he is out because I haven't got the sound on my TV, so not to distract from the stream. I can't hear why he would be retiring. I know why Brendan Hartley retired. He had a massive puncture at the start after being hit by Ericsson down towards the first corner on the first lap. Hamilton is 1.2 behind Kimi Raikkonen. Where is Grosjean? Grosjean is P5. He's doing very well, but he won't hold on to that because Vettel is flying through the field. Vettel down the inside of Sorokin at the Ascari chicane. Gets it done. Perez is about to make a move on Lance Stroll. Very good race so far. This has been way better than Spa. Way better so far. By the way, Bottas is now within DRS of Max Verstappen for P3. Only half a second behind, it says on the timing screen, or the timing chart. So Bottas, I think, will be making a move very, very soon. What lap are they on? That's from Peter. They are lap 15 out of 53. Kimi Raikkonen leads from Lewis Hamilton second. Verstappen is third. Bottas fourth. Grosjean fifth. Ocon sixth. Sainz is seventh. Stroll is eighth. Perez ninth. Vettel 10th. Then Sorokin is 11th. Then it's Ricciardo, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Leclerc, Van Dorn, Ericsson and Magnussen, with your retirees being Fernando Alonso and Brendan Hartley. Oh, what a race. What do you guys think of the race so far? Did Vettel say damage? I don't know. Again, I don't have my sound on. But he did have damage on his front wing that, of course, was repaired at his pit stop. And that's another thing to watch out for is will Vettel pit again? That's an interesting thing to think about. I'm just trying to look at the gaps. He definitely would not. If F1 pitted now, he would not come out. Vettel would not be in the lead, I don't think. I think Raikkonen and Hamilton would maintain their positions, but I think he has a position over Verstappen. I don't know what Vettel's going to do on strategy. We'll have to see what goes on, but I think he may have to pit again. But Vettel now closing on the back of Lance Stroll. Perez has just passed Stroll, and so has Sebastian Vettel. Perez gone wide ahead. Vettel already is now going to close up. Vettel will probably pass him down Ascari or the pit straight. Ultraman Nexus, will Vettel stand up to the podium? That's difficult to say. I think the key person for that is Bottas. If Vettel cannot jump somehow Bottas in the pit stop phase, then Bottas is just going to hold Vettel back and prevent a podium. But Bottas needs to pass Verstappen first somehow, because Vettel would easily pass Verstappen in a straight line. So it's Bottas who's the key here. Scuderia MCL, Hamilton is going to win. Let's see what happens at the first pit stop. I think that's the key here. I think Hamilton soon is going to do an undercut. By the way, lap 17 out of 53. So pit stops should be happening, I would say, within the next, say, 10 to 15 laps. Vettel now closing on Perez. 0.6 of a second behind. He will get past on the pit straight. Perez won't fight it, I don't think. Force injury is very quick in a straight line. And no. Or is he? Is Vettel going to go down the inside? Yes, he does. The Force injury is very quick in a straight line. But Vettel goes wide. And Perez goes back through. That's not what you need to be doing. You need to get through there, Sebastian. LeBron's bleep. I'll just leave it at that. Hamilton will blow engine. We'll see what happens. He's only a second or 0.9 of a second behind Kimi Raikkonen. So Sebastian went down the inside of Perez and got too deep on the brakes. And Perez took the outside and went back through. I think pit again with faster tyre. That's from Beverly. I don't know if he... I don't think he has a fresh set of super softs. So I don't really know what Vettel does there. Does he stay on the softs he has, or does he go for another set? It's a conundrum. Vettel, though, up to 9th and closing back up to Perez as Raikkonen and Hamilton lap the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. By the way, Magnussen is 40 seconds behind Ericsson, who's one position ahead in 17th. So, unless there's another safety car, Kevin Magnussen might as well retire, because there's no point racing anymore. He is already a lap down after 18 laps. Hamilton only a half a second behind Kimi now. As Vettel going to pass Perez again, goes down the inside. Can he get it done this time? Yes, he does. Vettel up to 8th and now has to catch Carlos Sainz, who's just over 2 seconds ahead. Vettel is on soft. Yep. I'll try and put another picture on the screen for you guys. I'm just trying to find one that's actually good. So there, Vettel passing Perez. I'll show you a picture of this. This is Ricciardo when he hit or slightly touched Gasly at turn 1. I'm surprised Gasly fought so hard. I thought he would let him through, kind of, but he didn't. By the way, Sebastian Vettel is 28 seconds behind Raikkonen. So Vettel would not be in the lead if Raikkonen or Hamilton pitted. Hamilton has DRS on Raikkonen and is not that far behind. I'd say only half a second. Closes up very, very quickly in the braking zone. I'll try and put this picture on the screen for you guys. But if you're just joining, what do you think is going to happen in this race? So here you go. Very, very close. Very, very close. That could have been a lot worse for Ricciardo. A lot worse. Magnussen will have to retire. That's from Raghav Gupta. Yeah, he probably will. Hamilton is 8 tenths behind. Bottas is closing up to Verstappen. So the Mercedes cars are coming alive. Normally, at the end of a stint, they do tend to. This is into turn 1. Bottas went for the move on Verstappen. Locked up and Verstappen went across the chicane. So what happens there then? I think Verstappen should be allowed to keep that position because was Bottas seriously going for a move? Oh, that's difficult to call. I don't. What do you guys think? Do you think Verstappen should give the position back? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. But I think Bottas will pass him very soon anyway. Hamilton again, DRS. And as we look to the background, Bottas is closing on Verstappen, not close enough though. But will Verstappen go wide again? By the way, I noticed Verstappen's rear tyres are starting to mark up. So Verstappen is now starting to struggle with tyre wear, so he may have to come in the next 5 laps to put on a set of soft compound tyres. As Vettel closes up to Sainz and goes down the inside and passes him very easily. So Vettel now up to P7 and has about 4 seconds to catch for Esteban Ocon. No penalty, no way. I didn't think it. First reaction is it's not a penalty. So yeah. Hamilton, how far behind is he of Raikkonen? Just under a second. Close enough, I guess, to get DRS, but not for a pass unless Raikkonen goes wide. I think Kimi should pit. Hamilton is going to pit now, is he? And so is Ferrari. Is this a pit stop race? Nope, Hamilton stays out. So is Bottas going to pit? So Raikkonen, by the way, has pitted. The race leader, Kimi Raikkonen, in the pit stop. And is on his way. Right, so Mercedes just dummied Ferrari into a pit stop. And now Hamilton is going to give it absolutely everything to get ahead of Raikkonen. And if he puts in a stellar lap, he could do it. Kimi doesn't have any traffic, so Kimi needs to fire those tyres up as quickly as possible. It's now hammer time for Lewis Hamilton. If he's going to win the championship, then he needs to put in a great lap now. And if he does and gets ahead of Raikkonen, then Hamilton should win this race. Struggling super soft tyre for Kimi. What happened here? They're just showing a replay of the pit stop. Nothing wrong there. Don't know why they showed a replay. There's nothing spectacular. But I think here come the Mercedes crew. Yes, here they come. Is this the moment where Lewis Hamilton wins this race. Bottas, by the way, closing up to Verstappen. Hamilton's gone through and set a new fastest lap of 1:23.6. Hammer time is well underway. And they dummy again, Mercedes. Hammer time is in overdrive right now. He is putting in great laps. Kimi needs to respond, because if he does not, Hamilton is in the lead here. 22.5 seconds the lead Hamilton has over Raikkonen. And according to the circuit info, oh, he's got slightly wide on the gravel there. I don't think that'll cost him loads of time though. Maybe a tenth. That might be the difference though. Mercedes still clickbaiting. That's a good way of putting it. So Raikkonen has done a fastest sector 3. When does Hamilton pit then? He set a very fast lap. That lap. If he can do another fastest lap and Kimi can't beat it, then they should keep on doing what they're going to do. But I'm not sure what Mercedes are going for here. Kimi is purple. That is right, Niblo. He is purple. Bottas closing up to Verstappen, but you can't really do anything about him. Bottas has been so slow this weekend. Hamilton stays out, by the way. Did Hamilton do a new fastest lap or not? I don't think he did. Kimi Raikkonen is about to come through though, and I assume he's going to do a fastest lap. Bottas, is he going for the move? Or he feigned for a move there. Trying to clear my throat. Hamilton still leads but has not pitted. Kimi Raikkonen is 4th but has pitted. Kimi is pushing. He is. I'm not sure Kimi though did a fastest lap then. Unless he hasn't had the chance to do so. But what do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think Hamilton will win this race? Do you think it'll be Kimi Raikkonen? Who do you think out of those two is going to win the race? It's going to be most likely Hamilton or Raikkonen unless we get a safety car. I don't see anyone else challenging for the win. Is Hamilton about to pit or not? Bottas is 2nd behind Max Verstappen. One more lap for Lewis from Ultraman Nexus. Yep, I think he's going round again. I'll try and post another picture for you guys. Again, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe either on the bottom right of the screen. Click on my channel name to go to my channel page, or click on the link in the description that goes directly to my channel page so you can subscribe. Like this video, comment down below what you thought of this video and what you thought of what happened in the Italian Grand Prix. Right now though, we have 29 laps left. 24 laps have passed. Still looking for... I've just got a picture for you guys. Just going to post in a minute. Kimi Raikkonen, fastest lap, 1:23.5. So, Kimi, as Vettel goes down the inside of Ocon, that's for 5th, as Grosjean has just pitted. So, Vettel now making good progress. Really good progress. Right, I'll try and put this picture on the screen for you guys. This is when the race leader at the time, Kimi Raikkonen, made his pit stop. Will he win the race? Will Kimi win the race? This is Kimi's best chance to win a race in a very long time. Will Hamilton stay out on track? Oh, what's happened here? Oh, Daniel Ricciardo is out of the Italian Grand Prix because, as ever, for the Australian, his engine has gave up the ghost. Why does this always happen for Ricciardo? Niblo, of course, is very angry, but yeah, that's a usual occurrence, I'm afraid, if you are a Ricciardo fan. Will that bring out a virtual safety car? If that does, then Hamilton is going to win or is going to be in the lead at least. This could be vital. If a virtual safety car comes out, Hamilton will be out ahead of Kimi, no doubt. So Hamilton leads from Verstappen, second Bottas third. So this is what happened for Daniel Ricciardo. So his engine, I think, was already giving up. And then the smoke came and Daniel knew that it was all over. Bounced across the chicane, so I think he was in two minds whether to continue or park it on the side of the road, and then I think on the exit of the second chicane he decided to park it. Very sad. Beverly's safety car, really? Not safety car, but a virtual safety car. A virtual safety car might change things here. Kimi, it's your time. Also from Beverly. The pit window is now open for people starting on the softs. So, who is on the softs? Vettel, but Vettel pitted, didn't he? So, safety car is watching. That's from Scuderia MCL. Hamilton, though, I think what they're doing here with Hamilton is they're giving him as much fresh tyres as possible to attack Kimi at the end. I think that's what the game plan is. As long as Hamilton, when he comes out of the pits, isn't in traffic, then that might work. As Verstappen passes his teammate's stricken car. What is a pit window? It's a window where where you want to pit your car. It's not a literal pit window. Basically, it's a way of saying this is the best time for you to pit, depending on what tyre you start on. A Mercedes still look very ready for a pit stop. They're just waiting for the call. The yellow flag has gone in, so there will be no virtual safety car. I think Mercedes were waiting for one. I'll post a picture now of Lewis Hamilton. I think this is Lewis Hamilton. Let me just check. Yep, it is. Giving it everything on his usual hammer time lap. Kimi Raikkonen still going very fast. Max Verstappen has pitted, by the way. So Bottas needs to give it everything now. And if he does, then he should be able to beat Verstappen and get third in this Grand Prix. Try and get this pitch on the screen for you guys. I've got it now. Here you go. Lewis Hamilton giving it everything. Is it enough, though, to win the Italian Grand Prix? Put in the chat below whether you think he can go on to win the race. And now I'll post another picture for you guys of Daniel Ricciardo's sad, but with the way his luck is, inevitable engine failure. This is the thing with Ricciardo. He gets a new power unit and it fails. He had that at Hockenheim as well. He has no luck whatsoever. There you go. That's when his engine decided to give up the ghost and park for the rest of the day. Go Kimi from Ultraman Nexus. Kimi is giving it some, and he has to. Hamilton's still out on track, so what is Hamilton's game plan? Give him much fresher tyres at the end and push as hard as possible with tons of ERS and engine power? I don't know. Raikkonen, by the way, closing in on Bottas. So are they going to try and get Bottas to hold Kimi up? I don't really know what Mercedes are going for here. I think we'll find out by the end of the race what they were going for. But I'm not really sure what they're trying. Again, we'll have to see by the end of the race what the plan actually was. Because I think their plan will come to fruition. Or they're hoping it will come to fruition at the end of the race. What is the top 10? That's from Legendary Snipers. I will read out in a moment once these replays have ended with Hamilton and Vettel, what their tyres look like. Vettel has a blister on his left rear of his soft compound tyre. So Hamilton leads, but Hamilton is not pitted. Bottas second. Bottas is not pitted. Then Raikkonen is third. Hamilton is about to pit, I think. Raikkonen third, Vettel fourth, Ocon fifth, Verstappen sixth, big lock up. Perez seventh, Sainz eighth, Stroll ninth, Sirotkin 10th. Lewis Hamilton is into the pits. puts on the soft compound tyres and gets going. Kimi Raikkonen will get the lead of the race quite easily. But I think Mercedes are going for basically Hamilton to push very hard until the end of the race. So Kimi is into turn 1 already. Hamilton has only just now come out of the pit exit, but Hamilton is about 3.5 to 4 seconds behind Kimi, but Hamilton has about 5 laps at least fresher tyres. Verstappen down the inside of Ocon for 5th. I think what they're going to do, Mercedes, is use Bottas to hold Kimi Raikkonen up and then get Hamilton to close up. That is a smart idea, and I think that is what they are going to do. In a similar way to what Ferrari did at China with Raikkonen against Bottas with Vettel behind. I think they're going to do the same. So Verstappen on his way in 5th place. Vettel is 4th but has not pitted yet. Or he has pitted, sorry. But he'll probably have to pit again because he has blisters on his rear tyres for his soft compound. Raikkonen now a second behind Bottas. Hamilton is about 4 seconds behind Raikkonen. If Bottas can hold up Kimi and that brings Hamilton up, then that is a very good game plan for Mercedes to do right now, or use. Bottas holding up Kimi Raikkonen. Kimi looks up into turn 1. Hamilton needs to fire up those softs as quickly as possible. So Vettel is going to pit right now, lap 30 out of 53, for a used set of super soft tyres. Yes, they are used. So Vettel, I guess, is now just going to push like crazy until the end of the race and try and finish in P4, P5. Stroll has gone past him. So Sorokin's gone. So Vettel's all the way down in 10th. So Vettel did not have good pace in trying to run longer. Lost out quite a few positions there that he actually made up whilst being out on track on the softs. Bottas was told, do not let Kimi through. That's from Niblo. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the call. Hamilton, by the way, is about 3 seconds behind. So the plan is working so far. Bottas just needs to make sure he maxes out his ERS and his engine modes down the straight to hold back Kimi. Very smart teamwork by Mercedes. This is exactly what team play looks like. Hamilton is now seriously closing up. Vettel, yet he has pitted. He's down in 10th, but is on a fresh set of super softs. What does Kimi do? He gets a bit loose on the entry to Parabolica. He collected too much curb on entry. Now Hamilton has done the fastest lap, a 1:22.497. Game on. Game on. We're going to get, I think, a show here, guys, for the last 22 laps of the race. It's not over. It is not over yet. Kimi Raikkonen, I think, will win the race, but it is not over. Lewis Hamilton could definitely win this race. And Raikkonen has to pass Bottas. If he can't, then if Hamilton can get within a second, and then Kimi, get within a second of Kimi, then Bottas, I assume, will pit, and then Hamilton can just go fully attack mode at Kimi. Legendary snipers. Vettel's chance of winning are under 50%. Kimi has DRS on Bottas, but can't get close enough, and Hamilton continues to close the gap. Just trying to see what the gap between Kimi and Hamilton is, because that's what's important right now. I think it's like 1.5 seconds or 2 seconds. Much better race than Spa. That's from Gamer Ben. Yes, it is. So important Kimi wins for the championship. That's from Niblo. It is. If Hamilton wins this race, that could be the difference. Oh, Bottas and Raikkonen kicking out the rear on the exit of the second chicane. That could be the difference at the end of the season if Hamilton wins and Vettel finishes in P5 or something. Vettel passes Stroll, he's up to 8th, so he's now passed both Williamses, and now needs to pass Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez and Esteban Ocon. He's not that far, you know, behind Verstappen, so he could get Verstappen. Now Kimi is trying his best to get past Bottas, half a second behind. Hamilton is now 1.1 behind Raikkonen. This is working very well for Mercedes. Bottas stays out. Kimi, I think, might go for a move here. Half a second behind DRS. Yeah, I think Kimi's going to go for a move here. Bottas needs to defend. Bottas defends to the middle, and Kimi can't do anything about that. He's going to try a switch back. And if Kimi wants to win, then he's got to get this move done very, very soon, because Hamilton is now under a second behind Raikkonen. Bottas defending very smartly is Bottas. He knows exactly where to place his car, middle of the track, so Kimi doesn't really know where to put his car. So Bottas doing a great defensive job. This is exactly, again, what teamwork looks like. As soon as Kimi, if Kimi does pass Bottas, as Hamilton, by the way, very close now. It's getting very close behind Raikkonen, just over half a second. So I think Bottas should pit, because I think his work is about done. If Hamilton can stay with Raikkonen without Bottas in front with those fresher tyres, then I think Bottas has done exactly what he needed to do. What does Bottas do? He stays out on track. And Hamilton will now close up in the slipstream of Raikkonen. Won't be able to pass though, or will he? He's quite close in the slipstream as Lewis Hamilton. He's gone down the inside of Raikkonen here before. Gets very close, locks his left front, but doesn't actually run wide. Quite a weird lock-up. Of course, if back in 2007, Hamilton amazingly passed Raikkonen down into turn 1. That was for P2, that race. This time it's for net first. Whereas Kimi, he is currently in second, but Bottas in the lead has not pitted yet. He will be pitting very soon. It's all down to Kimi Raikkonen and Lewis Hamilton for the win. If Hamilton desperately wants this title, then he has to get past Raikkonen in the next 19 laps, as we have 19 laps left of the Italian Grand Prix. It's been a great race so far. I've really enjoyed this one. Right, this is a picture of Bottas ahead of Raikkonen and Hamilton coming out for pit lane. That was a few laps ago now. And now, can Kimi close up to Bottas? That's the question. I think Bottas might get DRS here on Van Dorn. Does he? No, he doesn't. Kimi closes up. Van Dorn's got to be very careful. Oh, it's getting very close between the top three. Bottas leading, Kimi second, Hamilton third. Bottas is not really in this fight. Hamilton just over half a second behind. 18 laps to go. I'll read out the order very soon. Right, so the order is Valtteri Bottas leads but has not pitted yet. Then Kimi Raikkonen is second, Hamilton third, Verstappen fourth, Ocon is fifth, Perez sixth, Vettel is seventh, then Carlos Sainz is eighth, Lance Stroll is ninth, Soa Sirotkin is 10th, then it's Grosjean 11th, Hulkenberg 12th, Gasly 13th, Leclerc 14th, Ericsson 15th, Sauber not having a good race at all, and then Van Dorn 16th, Magnussen 17th, and your retirees are Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, and Brendan Hartley. Can Hamilton get past? We need to see though if Kimi can pass Bottas. Wingman of the year definitely goes to Bottas. That's some Keelon. Kimi is too far behind this time. to overtake. Kimi needs to get the move done because Bottas can stay out as long as possible. If Bottas could stay out until the final lap, as long as if Raikkonen doesn't pass him, Bottas will not pit. What is current positions of Kimi, Bottas, Kimi, Hamilton, Bottas and Vettel? Bottas leads but has not pitted yet. Raikkonen is in net first but is currently in P2 being held up by Bottas. Hamilton is just under a second behind Raikkonen in third. And Vettel is down in P7. Miles off the lead. He's not going to get on the podium. There's no chance of that. Dirty Air makes Kimi struggle. That's from Ultraman Nexus. He's struggling even more now. Kimi's actually falling back a bit. And I think Lewis is as well. I think they're actually struggling now in the dirty air. So, well, what do Mercedes do with Bottas then? Because they can't keep Bottas out forever. Got to pit him eventually. Kimi. Oh, so here comes Bottas into the pit lane. So Bottas has done his work. He did exactly what he needed to do. And now pits. Where will he come out though? Because of course he's competing with Verstappen. He will have a lot fresher tyres. I think he'll be behind. 2.4 second pit stop. Where is Max? Yep, there goes Max. So Max has gone past. So Max Verstappen doing very well in P3. But Bottas about 3 seconds behind on way fresher tyres. Way fresher tyres. Now, Lewis Hamilton just under a second behind. We have 16 laps left. Can Hamilton pass Raikkonen? He doesn't necessarily have to, remember, because Vettel is currently struggling down in 7th, and the best Vettel is going to get is P5. And that's 8 points gained on Vettel if Hamilton finishes in 2nd. And that would extend the gap to 25 points, which of course is the points you get for a race win. So Hamilton doesn't necessarily have to take a risk, but if he did win this race, that would be even better because then he'd extend it to 32 points. DeResta said Hamilton's front left looks bad. That's from Niblo. I did have a look at it a minute ago and it didn't look too smart to me. Hamilton has DRS on Raikkonen but is not close enough for a move. I tell you now, every Ferrari fan, every Kimi Raikkonen fan right now is willing Kimi on to get the job done. 15 laps to go. Can he hold off Hamilton and get the job done? I think he can. I think he can. But yeah, it's going to be tough for Hamilton. I'm just going to post a picture for you guys. This is before Valtteri Bottas pitted. And this is when Bottas was holding up Raikkonen and Hamilton. Holding up Raikkonen. A treat for his teammate. There you go. Did very well, Bottas. That's exactly what a number 2 or a team player does. Helps his team. Nothing wrong with that. Reminds me of 2007 so much. It is very reminiscent because back then it was a similar situation. Hamilton was catching Raikkonen down that time for P2. Fernando Alonso was dominantly in P1. And Hamilton made a stunning overtake to get past. And if he's going to get past, I think he might have to make another stunning overtake to do so. Because I don't think right now he can get close enough. I think at the end of the race, Hamilton is going to have to give it everything if he wants to win. What lap are we on? That's on Game of Ben. We are on lap 39 out of 53. Kimi Raikkonen leads from Lewis Hamilton 2nd. Hamilton is just under a second behind. Verstappen 3rd. Bottas 4th. As Vettel has now passed Sergio Perez for P6. So Ocon is 5th. Vettel is 6th. Perez is 7th. And then Sainz is 8th. Stroll is 9th. And Sorokin P10. Vettel going down the inside of Perez at Ascari. Quite a good overtake, even though Perez kind of let him through. Kimi, Ocon has now pitted. Ocon didn't pit though, did he? That's why he was up in P5. Grosjean now up to... Actually, the order's changed. So let me read it again. So Kimi Raikkonen leads, Hamilton second, Verstappen third, Bottas fourth, Vettel is fifth, Perez sixth, Sainz is seventh, then Grosjean eighth, Ocon ninth, and Hulkenberg in 10th, but I don't think Hulkenberg is pitted. Is Hamilton close? Hamilton is closer on this lap to Kimi Raikkonen, but I don't think he'll be going for a move. He's all very close in the braking. The Mercedes looks a lot better under braking than the Ferrari. The Ferrari looks a lot kind of heavier under braking. What do you guys think's gonna happen? Do you think Kimi Raikkonen can win, or do you think it'll be Lewis Hamilton, who is closing up all the time? LeMahieu, Hamilton struggle as well. Should Magnussen have retired? Pretty much he should, because he's not going to score any points. By the way, if anyone is having any internet issues, then try and refresh, because on my end it's actually okay for now. So if you're having any issues, then just refresh, because on my end it is working at the moment. Hamilton is closing up all the time on Kimi. I'm going to post a picture now of Kimi and Lewis. There you go. That's the situation. As Hamilton, how close behind is he? Kimi will win, and he deserves it after this weekend. Yeah, I'd say he does, but Hamilton getting very close. If Hamilton performs a great overtake, then I'd say he deserves it, because, you know, to pass for the lead in this current era of Formula 1 is very hard with the aero we have. So I'm not expecting a pass, but that doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Hamilton's only half a second behind. 6 tenths behind now as we go through Lesmo 1. Hamilton definitely closer. He's got to give it everything now. What do you guys think is going to happen? Do you think Kimi will win, or will it be Lewis? By the way, Valtteri Bottas is now closed up to the back of Max Verstappen. He's under a second behind. He's going to pass him very soon, I think. Bottas is on much fresher tyres than Max Verstappen. Bottas, is he getting DRS? I think he is. Is he? Yep, he is getting DRS. So Bottas is going to pass Verstappen very soon. What's the gap between Lewis and Kimi? That's a meter on cube. It's 9 tenths of a second on the pit straight. No, it's 8 tenths. The race is 42 or 46 laps. It's 42 laps in. 42 laps out of 53. We have 9 left. Been a great race. It really has. As Bottas now closing to the back of Verstappen for third place. Verstappen's going to have to get very defensive. He's weaving on the straight. Can he defend from Bottas? Bottas goes around the outside. He's going to have to do the switchback. That's the only way you can do it. To the run. Now he runs to the second chicane. That's how he's going to get the move done. Slipstream on Max Verstappen. Can he get the move done into the second chicane? He's going to put it around the outside, but Verstappen very smartly defends his position. James Evans said needs a safety car. Yep, he does. He really, really does. Hamilton quite close to Raikkonen now. Let me see. He's very close to Raikkonen. We should close up. We should be watching Hamilton Raikkonen. They're lapping the traffic though. That's why. So what's the gap now? 7 tenths of a second. As Raikkonen is now going to lap. I think, is it? No, it's Sergei Sorokin in P11. Raikkonen goes through. And so does Hamilton. Gets a bit close there, Lewis Hamilton. He's having a look. He's having a look. Kimi's tyres are degrading fast. That's a Raghav Gupta. They are definitely compared to Hamilton. Oh, Bottas is he's passing Verstappen now. Oh, he's gone wide, but Bottas has gone deep at the first chicane, trying to pass Max Verstappen. And has fell quite a long way behind now. I think that might be it for Bottas trying to pass Verstappen. I think Verstappen can hold on. I think Verstappen can hold on for third. Bottas tried to go around the outside. Oh, contact. Verstappen and Bottas. I've got to see that again. Who was at fault here? That's a racing incident. Verstappen did move across, but there was still room for Bottas to get through. There was still room. I think Bottas kind of went a bit to the inside, and that's why that happened. Hamilton looks closer to Raikkonen here. Sorry, I can't add a leaderboard, but I've tried my hardest to find a timing screen for you guys, but I can't find one. Sadly enough, Kimi goes defensive now. It's now got to that point. Hamilton is about, 2 or 3 tenths behind. Here we go. Now we're 9 laps from the end. I thought we went 9 laps from the end a couple laps ago. It was 11 back then. Now we're 9 laps from the end. Hamilton is 4 tenths of a second behind. It's going to get very close at the end. Hello to Martin. Danny Fiend, go Kimi. This has been an exciting race thus far, in my opinion. Love this power track. We all do. We all do. Max left just enough space. That's from Raghav Gupta. Yep, I agree. He didn't push him off the track. No way. He did not push him off the track. Showing a replay again of Hamilton and Vettel making contact. In case you're just joining us, Hamilton and Vettel made contact on the first lap. Wasn't Hamilton's fault. It was more Vettel's fault, but Vettel should not be penalised for such an action. How close? Hamilton's closer now. Half a second behind. He's going to get the move. Is he going to get the move done into turn 1? Here we go. Lewis Hamilton. Can he get the move done down into turn 1? Round the outside for Lewis Hamilton. Round the outside. He's done it. Lewis Hamilton into the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, but Raikkonen can get the run back up to the second chicane. It's not over yet, or is it? Kimi in the slipstream. And Lewis Hamilton is in the lead. Lewis Hamilton takes the lead. What an overtake. That is an overtake that wins you championships, wins you races. Wow. Seeing a replay now. He got the outside of the corner. Hamilton, of course, has better tyres, so Kimi really can't do that much. Great move by Lewis Hamilton. And that is a move that wins you races. He's now 1.4 seconds ahead. Hamilton's now going to run away with this. Vettel is only down in 5th. So Hamilton is going to gain, 15 points? That's going to go up to 32. This is a big, big day for his championship. For Vettel's as well. Lewis Hamilton comes across the line. He's going to get booed like hell at the end of this race, but I don't think he'll care, or anyone really cares about that. Delete F1, delete Hamilton. Max Verstappen got a penalty. That's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. Bottas had enough space not to have the accident. I disagree with that. I understand why they gave it, but it doesn't mean that, they should have given it. So Hamilton now, I think, with 7 laps left, is going to win this race. Raghav Gupta, Kimi pitted too early. It was a strategy mistake. That's why this has happened. It was a strategy mistake. They pitted. Ferrari fell for Mercedes' pit stop dummy thinking Hamilton was going to pit, and then Hamilton didn't pit for a few laps, came out, used Bottas as a block. The way Mercedes has constructed this race is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. That is what a winning team does. Ferrari, you can't blame it on luck. You can't blame it on that. They just got it wrong today, both drivers and team. Vettel getting it wrong, hitting Hamilton, and Ferrari getting it wrong on strategy, falling for Mercedes' pit stop dummy. They just got it wrong today, Ferrari, and that has allowed so far Lewis Hamilton to take the lead with 6 laps left. It looks as though, unless Hamilton's engine fails, that Hamilton is going to win the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. That will be his 4th win in 5 years around this track if he does go on to win. But there is still 6 laps left. Meter on cube. Ferrari has the car, but Mercedes has Lewis. Ferrari has the faster car, but Mercedes have the better operation, which allows them to do what they've done today. Ferrari just have in terms of winning a championship, a poor operation compared to Mercedes or even Red Bull. Ferrari make too many mistakes. And today, mistakes have cost them what should have been at least a victory. Maybe a 1-2. Here you go, guys. This is when Hamilton completed that stunning overtake. Round the outside, he mugged Kimi off just like he did 11 years ago. Some things never change. As Bottas now is closing up to the back of Valtteri, Max Verstappen. And he's going to get the DRS now. So by the way, Hamilton now leads by 4 seconds. So Raikkonen will not respond. The Ferrari fans look depressed as hell. Bottas, he's weaving around trying to distract Verstappen. I guess Valtteri is very angry with what Verstappen did, even though I don't think what he did was actually wrong. Valtteri gets in the slipstream and he's not going to pass into the second chicane. He'll have to wait until the pit straight again on lap 49. Lewis passing and not playing safe is why he is a champion. You know, sometimes in life you have to take a risk. And the top drivers in F1 do take risks. And most of the time, because they make it happen, it comes off for them. James Evans, people are walking out of the stands. I wouldn't be surprised. That's basically, that Hamilton overtake was a death knell for those Ferrari fans. Kimi is the king from Angel of Death. Hamilton now leads by 5 seconds. Hamilton is just building that gap. Madness Craze, boring race. No way. Not a boring race at all. This has actually been the best race, I would say, since... yeah, they're showing the replay of it, of Hamilton passing Raikkonen in 2007. Oh, Bottas going for a move on Verstappen. He's going to do the cutback. Bottas has to get this move done. He's going to finish in third anyway because Verstappen has the penalty, but he'll want to do it on track to prove a point. Bottas round the outside. Can he do it? Verstappen's going to defend hard to the inside. Bottas has to wait until lap 50 to get the move done. Lewis just has focus like nobody else and skill to boot. Gina, why is no one talking about Max? Max is great. Max has been very good this weekend, and I would actually say he's been one of my drivers of the day today. I don't think he has been the driver of the day, but he has been one of the best drivers today, no doubt. To be holding on to P3 still against a works Mercedes at this track, that's a stunning performance. Vettel needs to push now. He is in P5, 5.5 seconds behind Bottas and Verstappen. He's not going to catch. It's all over. I'm afraid he is lapping the Renault of... Who is that? That's Hulkenberg and Gasly. Can Bottas pass Verstappen? I don't think he can this time. He's too far behind, is he? Yeah, he's too far behind. Hamilton driver of the day. That's from Gamer Ben. Probably. Max is hilarious. Legendary snipers. Race is better than Canada and Spa, definitely. I'd say this is the best race since Silverstone. I think this race is better than the German one. Bottas still behind Verstappen, but Bottas will finish in third even if he doesn't pass him. Vettel needs to be within 5 seconds of Max. Good point. He does. If he wants to get P4, that would be 2 extra points, which could be important at the end of 2018. But right now, Vettel is not close enough at the moment. But I think Vettel will get within the 5 seconds. Kimi's left rear tyre is very blistered. So he is done for the day in terms of tyre life. Bottas, he looks a bit closer this time, does Valtteri Bottas. It's boring because Hamilton going to win again. Just because someone wins the race doesn't mean it's boring. You need to actually, see what happens in the race to determine what is boring as Bottas closes on Verstappen. Lap 51 out of 53, by the way. Hamilton leads from Kimi Raikkonen, then Verstappen third, Bottas fourth, Vettel fifth, Grosjean sixth, Ocon is seventh. But by the way, Ocon and Perez very close to Grosjean, so that's a move that is going to happen soon. And then you have Sainz in Sainz in ninth, Stroll 10th, Sirotkin 11th, Leclerc 12th, Van Dorn 13th, Hulkenberg 14th, Gasly 15th, Ericsson 16th, Magnussen 17th, and your retirees, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, and Brendan Hartley. Bottas doesn't look close enough. I think, wait, let me just look. Yeah, Vettel is now within the 5 seconds. So right now, Vettel will take P4. So Hamilton will have a 30-point lead. Yeah. Hamilton will lead by 30 points if Vettel stays within 5 seconds of Verstappen. By the way, Kimi Raikkonen is struggling so much that the Williams of Sergei Sirotkin has just passed him down the pit straight. Kimi has really bad blisters. Bottas still having a look at Verstappen, but not going for the move. What do you guys... Chaz, come on fam, Lewis is driver of the day. I'll go through that in the race reaction. By the way, before the race ends, race reaction 4:30 PM UK time, so in about an hour's time I will be doing a race reaction for the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and come around for that, where for an hour we'll react to the race and go through all of the teams and what happened in the Italian Grand Prix. I don't think Bottas is seriously going to go for a move, to be honest, because I think the team has told him what the deal is. But we do need to see, though, what's going on with Grosjean, Ocon and Perez, because that's a three-way battle for sixth. That is very important. Just trying to look as well. Sainz is scoring 2 points and Grosjean is scoring 8. So right now, Renault and Haas would be level on points in 4th place. As Bottas looks closer this time, half a second behind. He's going to go for the move now, surely. If he does not get past him now, then what is Valtteri doing? Slipstream, DRS, Verstappen defends again, and Bottas just is not going for the move. By the way, we're on the final lap. Lewis Hamilton, 8.5 seconds in the lead. He's about to win the race. Oh, yeah, Sirotkin's still pointless. We need to see the Grosjean, Ocon and Perez fight, but Bottas is getting close to Verstappen here. But he's not going to go for the move. Bottas just cannot get the move done. But not about that today. It's about Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen. What a battle it was. Hamilton now coming through the Ascari chicane. goes through the exit. He's now heading to the Parabolica. Lewis Hamilton deservedly winning today, performing great overtakes on both Vettel and Raikkonen. That is what a champion does. Comes around the Parabolica, and Lewis Hamilton wins the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. What a deserved victory that was. Kimi Raikkonen no doubt will come through in second, but lost a lot of time to Max Verstappen, even though Verstappen will take a penalty. Kimi Raikkonen finishes second. Verstappen crosses the line third, but will finish in reality in P5. So Bottas takes third, Vettel will be fourth, and Verstappen will be fifth. We need to see the battle between Grosjean, Ocon and Perez. I think Grosjean will take P6, and then Ocon will take P7, maybe just ahead of Perez, and then Sainz 9th, Stroll 10th, Sorokin 11th, Leclerc 12th, Van Dorn 13th, Hulkenberg 14th, 15th is Gasly, 16th is Marcus Ericsson, 17th is Kevin Magnussen, and your retirees for the 2018 Italian Grand Prix, Daniel Ricciardo, Fernando Alonso, and Brendan Hartley. That was a good race. That was a really good race. If you weren't watching the race, make sure you get round to watching it. It was a very good one. And, well, no matter what you think of Lewis Hamilton, he deserved that. He definitely deserved that. He performed 2 brilliant passes, both around the outside on both Vettel and Raikkonen, and deservedly got that win. Mercedes were a lot faster in the race than I thought they were going to be. I did not think they were going to be so fast today. But Hamilton and Bottas first and third for Mercedes. Raikkonen P2. He drove well, Kimi, but his team, I think, cocked up the strategy. The Ferrari fans applauding Kimi Raikkonen. I will be coming off in a minute, guys, to get the race reaction ready. I'll come off in about 2 minutes. So if you have anything to say, then let's say it now before I go. But don't forget, guys, again, come around for the race reaction at 4:30 p.m. So in an hour's time, wherever you are in the world, an hour's time, and I will be live for the race reaction. Where we'll go through all the teams, all the incidents, the order, everything. So come back in an hour and we'll go through all of that with each other. Kimi driver of the day. That's from Rugav Gupta. I don't know if he's been given that or not. But I would go... I don't know who I'd go for. I have to think about it. There's a couple. I'd say Hamilton. I think Raikkonen drove well. Verstappen did very well. Chaz, is this the end of the championship? No, it's not. It's 30 points now. That's not the end. You know, Hamilton, I think, caught a bigger gap back in 2014. So it's not over. It's not over. Stroll got a point. I think he did. Yeah, P10. Very good race. Good weekend for Williams. P10 and P11. Hamilton's going to be very happy. The Ferrari fans are not. They're probably going to boo him, but, well, who cares? Kimi Raikkonen in second. And in third, again, Valtteri Bottas, not Max Verstappen because of his penalty. Right, I'll post the last image of this stream on the screen for you guys. Thank you all, by the way, for coming around and watching. The viewership we've had today is amazing. I cannot thank you guys enough. At one point, we had 450 people watching live. That is amazing. And right now, we have about 370 or something like that. So again, thank you guys so much. Please do subscribe down in the bottom right of the screen. Either click on my channel name or click on the link in the description to subscribe to the channel. Hamilton, very, very happy with that, of course. But I guess, guys, I will end this stream. So again, subscribe to the channel, as I've just said. Like this video. Comment down below what you thought of this stream. And comment down below What did you think of the Italian Grand Prix and what happened in the race? Again, don't forget, in an hour's time, I will be back live with the race reaction for the 2018 Italian Grand Prix. So hopefully all 300 or 400 of you will come around again and we'll do this all again. As well, don't forget to join the Discord server. A link to that is down below in the description. We have 60 people in there right now. It's an ever-growing community. Very good community, great people in there, so hopefully you do join. The link is down below. As well, follow me on Twitter, a link to that is down below as well, where you can keep up to date with when I'm uploading videos, and if anything goes wrong with my videos in terms of not uploading at the time I said I would, then you know, follow me on Twitter and you can keep up to date that way and see why maybe a certain day I'm not uploading. And also, check out my website, shazahd.com, if you want to keep up to date again with ShazahD F1, which is, of course, me. But again, guys, thank you so much. And yeah, this was a great stream. This has definitely been the best stream I think I've ever done on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. Hopefully you all come around for the race reaction. Lewis Hamilton wins, Kimi Raikkonen is second, Valtteri Bottas finishes third. That is your Italian Grand Prix of 2018.